Uno, dos, tres, cuatro.
The idea of the second album, Cinco, came to me after we had considered talking about maybe doing another release. It didn't quite work out because there's a budget involved, and to be completely honest with you, at the time, I was having some severe writer's block. We kind of toyed around with songs that we had written before and started to realize that some of these songs were really good. They had a lot of material there that we could work with. Kind of like the idea of toying with the number 5, just because there's 5 of us in the band. We've been together for 5 years. We pull from a lot of different styles of music, and the number 5 comes up a lot. Especially, it kind of touches on the 5 stages of life, being, birth, youth, love, marriage, and then ultimately death. And those are subjects that we really touch heavy on in these songs. The writing process was fairly different, I guess, this time, because usually I write everything. The first album, it was kind of like that. I did a lot of the work on that, and I came with these songs to these guys, and then they all kind of added their tinge to it. Well, this time around, the songs were a little more bare, and we actually restructured some of the music we had written before. Came to these guys, they all know what they're doing, they're all very versed musicians. I trust them wholeheartedly as the band, and we brought Cinco to life. We recorded Cinco with Stuart Sykes out in Austin at a studio called Church House Studio, and in the small Orange Room studio. Stuart worked on our first album, and we fell in love with his technique and his sound. So it was kind of a no-brainer as to where we were going to go with this record. We also took into consideration that the whole Cinco theme and tried to record the album in 5 days, which technically we did, but that didn't include vocals and all the other stuff that goes into this. But for the most part, Cinco has been the theme. It's been the ongoing number that comes up. Some of the songs for Cinco were actually songs that were written for Enemies from Years of Loving, which is our first release. And they just weren't used, and they kind of just really didn't fit the sequence of the actual album. Somewhere along the line when we started talking about Cinco, the writer's block stopped, inspiration just started happening everywhere. I mean, we're all pretty much, in the phase of our life where we're married and we have children, and friends and family are dying, and it's a lot of things happening at once. So it was very easy to pick up on this record and to kind of finish it, and to the 5 stages of life. I mean, it's ultimately a coming of age record, and I feel like Enemies from Years of Loving was the beginning of that, and this is definitely where we're at now. We're Blackbird Sing. Look out for Cinco coming at you soon.